All right, folks. Welcome. Just rebooting the system there, so you might have had it like a black screen for a minute or so. Just updated a new feature, so bear with us. For I think it was Steve and anybody else that's looking for the calculators and such that we use on the opening and closing playbooks for doing like the spread calculations. Let me show you. They should be in the Playbook membership area. So let me, change the screen share here. We're gonna kinda jump from our normal pre-show here just to do a little demo of this in case anybody else has got an issue with it, and we'll go from there. Hold on one second. Uh, Window, we'll go. Okay, so you should be able to see the members area. Mine might look a little bit different than yours, but if you go into the members area, it's still called the opening playbook in here. It is the same for, one membership area for opening playbook and closing playbook. So this should be what it looks like for you. Oh, let me share my screen. That would help. This should be what it looks like for you when you get in here. If you search for opening playbook, and then all you have to do is scroll down a little bit. You'll see the calculators right here. And this newest one, so the two that have the little calculator icons on them are the older ones. And then this opening playbook debit spread target assistant is really the more modern one that Nathan has updated. And you can use it to do debit spreads. You can switch it to credit spreads up at the top. And you can switch it from calls to puts down here and then do all those calculations. So hopefully that's what you were looking for, Steve, and anybody else who was looking for the calculators inside the opening playbook. Now, once you do that and you can close that tab, it'll bring you back. It opens it up in a separate tab at the top. So you can bring it back to the opening playbook members area just by closing that tab when you're done. All right. So again, you won't be able to get into it. It's the one-click trading members area. So it's app.oneclicktrading.com. This is the URL, Steve, for the members area. You'll need a login, so you will have to have had the um, you have to have some membership to be able to log in. And in order to get into this area of it, you'll have to have that $1 membership. So if you are a member of the $1 playbook membership area, then you'll be able to gain access to this. I can even give you, like the direct link to the to the $1 members area. But again, this will not help you if you don't already have a login. Uh, Playbook members area. Okay, so let me switch from that back to my regular screen share. And I see Nathan's here already, so maybe I'll skip it all together. We had some questions about finding the calculators in the members area, so I was going over that instead of doing the pre-show.
The calculators that require people to mortgage their house to afford the opening playbook VIP membership.
Yes,
those ones.
If they have like an ant house or like a little ant farm is what they live in, then yes, they have to mortgage their ant farm to get into the $1 VIP membership area. But I did not get into what we were going to be getting into at all in this upcoming session.
Well, that's okay. I can cover that because it's pretty straightforward. We're going to go wild here on Shotgun Thursday, as always. Look for some of those opportunities. For those of you who are new, you haven't been here on a Thursday on Closing Playbook, a couple of things to keep in mind. I mean, the first thing is that we're testing out a pretty wild concept of taking a whole bunch of trades that will expire the next day. So they'll expire tomorrow. And the idea here is that the only time you can trade individual stocks with 1 day till expiration is a Thursday, because those stocks, will have weekly expiration. So this is really the only day of the week we can do it. That's the reason for it. But a couple things to keep in mind. Number one is that these are not like high conviction trade ideas. This is us kind of testing, spraying and praying, as some would say, but kind of doing it in a systematic way where we put together some different trades across different assets and sectors, and we look to see how they perform over time. Now, the cool thing is, while I will say this is speculative and you shouldn't try to follow every trade. It's not every stock is meant to be a recommendation. The cool thing is that we do know that overnight trading from Thursday to Friday is profitable over time. If you trade just the SPY and you trade it at the end of the day, overnight to Friday, you have a high hit rate and a profitable strategy. So the whole concept of the shotgun Thursday is, okay, can we take that and actually improve it at all by using a set of different stocks? And a good example is actually last week, where Friday had a horrible day and it was a losing day in the market. And the reason it's a good example is because on our traditional strategy, where you would trade SPY, if you put $1,000 into that trade, you would lose $1,000 because the SPY went down 1%, never recovered. So you'd lose $1,000. Well, in our situation, if you put $200 in 5 different trades, you'd still lose, 4 of them, or I think we ended up doing 6, so $180 into 6 or whatever. You'd still lose 4 of them. So you'd have a losing day, but then 2 of them had a small profit. And so the idea is, okay, can we actually blend ourselves into a little bit higher profit by using different stocks? And for me, the answer is I don't know. I don't actually know how that will play out in real time. It's kind of hard to test multi-asset strategies like that with a lot of conviction. And so I thought, well, let me whip up a small account. I put $2,000 in a Tasty Trade account, and let's see how this actually works in real time. Some folks ask why I didn't do this in paper money. Well, because with paper trading, you would get incorrect fills. You would get unrealistic fills. And so any of your performance numbers will really be based on unrealistic fills that you can't rely on. And so we want to do it with real money, even though it's just 1 or 2 contracts per trade, and then see how this works in real time. So that's the first thing. Just to note what we're doing here. It's an experiment. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to see what happens. It is not high conviction trades. And the second thing, along with that, we move pretty fast. In about 2 minutes here, I'm going to start looking for trades. We're going to move pretty fast. If you're newer to trading, you're just figuring this out, this is not going to be an easy session to just smoothly follow and get into every trade, but it is going to be a good session to see how we trade in real time. How do we look at spreads? How do we plan for the market moving 1% up or 5% down or whatever the case is, 0.5% down? How do we set up limits and targets and all that kind of stuff? It's kind of like drinking out of a fire hydrant for the actual setup side of the equation. So that is what we are looking to do here in this closing playbook shotgun Thursday scenario. Hello, Graham.
Hey, and we've got JD here in the waiting room too. He can maybe give us a ticker or two as well.
Well, I think JD at the end is going to give us 10 tickers.
10 tickers.
So let me add. So yeah. So if you guys were here earlier, say Thursday? Yeah, that was yesterday. Oh, wow. Time's a tough one.
The week's been weird with the Monday holiday.
Yeah, if you were here yesterday, we did a special session on pullbacks, which hopefully you guys found were valuable. And then JD gave it his entire approach to trading pullbacks there, including kind of his start, stop, a whole process. And so we asked him to come back. We're going to get into Shotgun Thursday. And then after that, because he can do his part after the closing bell, I think. JD, is it fine if you do it after the closing bell for this watch list?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. So then if you guys tune in to after the closing bell, you'll get not 1, not 2, not 3, but 10. I don't know if that was good marketing material there, but you'll get 10 stocks that JD is looking at as, kind of those snapback opportunities, stocks that are undervalued in the short term, looking for those quicker pops back. So JD, I'm going to jump into the action and go crazy here. Feel free to jump right in if you want. Tell me, you have a ticker that you want to look at, or I'm crazy and you hate my trade ideas, or whatever. Feel right at home here, JD, to be part of the closing playbook session.
Well,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I appreciate you having me on, and I've got my tool belt full of goodies, so I'll just try to fit in when I can.
All right, perfect. Graham, I know you mentioned a couple. I mentioned a couple in Telegram. Gold, Bitcoin, and what I had one other one there.
Going broad with the gold and Bitcoin.
Well, actually, and I think my other one was basic materials, so super broad, all sector.
Oh, wow.
And I know you had some individual stocks, so I figured
I
that
had
would.
the more speculative ones. You know,
well, that'll be a perfect.
Nate's a high win rate, play it safer kind of guy. He's obviously crushing it. You guys every morning with the overnight options posted in here makes me jealous, and the income machine makes me jealous, and all the other programs. I like to go a little more risk on, a little further out of the money, lower win rate, but higher returns when it works.
Yeah. Well, we showed over time in some of our sessions that some of the strategies that I have really nice win rates on have great ROIs, very proud of them, but you've outpaced a couple of those on lower win rates. So I can't I can't revel in the high win rates if the profits don't actually add up to any higher number. Anyway, with that said, it's 3:36, so we want to start looking for trades. I'm going to start with GLD. GLD pulled back today. I'm looking for a bounce back. Now, again, full transparency, I'm not looking for a one-day bounce back in gold. That's not really the trade that I'm looking at here. But we're going to play it anyway as a one-day just for fun to see how it goes because gold historically, is a solid asset. It falls into line with the S&P 500 that does have more positive Fridays than negative Fridays, and so it fits into our Shotgun Thursday.
Hey Nathan, I want to jump in real quick here just because I want to vouch for your instincts on GLD, especially given that Stephen Moran was testifying today. The newest member of the Federal Reserve is on record for wanting to destroy the dollar. Okay, so that bodes well. I can't vouch for a one-day trade. I have no idea. But longer term, I think you are killing it with that idea.
Well, I'm pretty optimistic. I think I told you I had a lot more gold in my portfolio that I let go of when it was going sideways and felt pretty good about that timing. But as it goes with trading, kind of wish I was still holding it at this point. But let me go ahead and start us with this 326, 327. I'm going to move my screens around a little bit just so I can type in the chat more easily here. For some reason, I can't type in the chat. Oh, because I'm on the wrong menu. Don't worry, guys. I'll figure it out.
I can type in the chat for you.
Okay. Well, I figured it out, but it is 326, 327 for tomorrow's expiration that we have on GLD here.
327.
And guys, I don't even usually post the expiration date because that's always tomorrow on Thursday. I am going to do a couple of these. What's that, Dave?
Graham already posted. All expirations are September 5th.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to put a little banner on the screen too.
That's
all right. I'll start here. 52, and if I don't get filled, I'll bump it up a little bit.
Nate, real quick here. What's crazy about that one is if gold gains 0% tomorrow, you're still going to gain about 30-40% on that spread.
Yep. If I can get filled in that low 50s or even up to 55, we'll be in pretty good shape on that one. Okay, I'm going to go to Bitcoin here. The reason I like Bitcoin right now is because it is just it's back and forth. It's in that zone. I'm not going to pull up the chart right now because we're focused on the trades. But if you pull up a chart, you'll see futures hit right back down to 110. It's been fluctuating back and forth. And so it hit 110. Let's see if it pops up to 111 or so, which will be enough. That's about a 0.8% move, but that will be enough to get us on the right side of what Graham talked about today on the wrap orders. So we'll look at 61.50, 62.50, but we might have to go to 62.63. What do you like better here, Graham? This one's at 64 cents, which actually looks pretty decent, but we could just go up and get 61.62, probably right at the 50-cent number.
I don't think you want my take because I actually am bearish on Bitcoin for the moment. So.
Well, yeah, but we don't care about whether you're bearish. We just care about if it were to bounce.
If IBIT were to bounce, it would probably be up at today's open 63 is what I would say.
All right, we'll go more aggressive.
Oh, did you what were you paying for the gold trade? Do you remember?
I put it in for 52, but it hasn't filled yet. And then IBIT will be 62.63. By the way, I'm semi-bearish on Bitcoin too, but I just think it might have a one-day bounce here.
All right.
Let's see. Oh, I'm going to do a couple. Wait, only
You're doing
one.
62 and 63?
I did 62 and 63. Oh, 49 cents. Boom. Oh, 50. I thought I put it at 49, but it voted 50. All right. Let me go to XLB. You guys know no one can do boring trading like Nate. We're trading XLB here in the closing playbook.
Yeah, and Brandon's got a good point here. I was going to mention this at the open. We have quite a few reports coming out in the morning. We've got non-farm payrolls and unemployment being the big ones in the morning, 8:30 a.m. So that'll move the markets.
Yeah, we'll get some action tomorrow. Okay, let me do basic materials here. Trading at 91.26. I don't really want to go for a big move, so let's see if I can get a decent price on 90.50, 91.50. Sure can't. That's a horrible price for that. Wow.
Yeah, those are wise. When
right.
you were going the sector, I knew it was going to be a little funny.
Yeah, they're rough. The sector ETFs are rough. All right, forget XLB. All right, Graham, what do you like?
First one I want to do is the most speculative of the bunch, RKT, which man, this thing, we talked about it briefly this morning.
Up over $19. Wasn't that your target a while ago?
Yeah, it was at $18 this morning. Well, actually like 17 something. It's up 7% today. It's been a rocket.
Is SoFi still ripping? I haven't even looked at some of the other ones.
But I would look to do the 19 and 19 and a half calls here. It's a very cheap price stock, so we need a big move for it to cross that 19 and a half point. It's about 35 cents here, which is about a 2-3% move tomorrow. I think
you want to do 19.50, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's like 18 cents. What's it showing for you?
Mine's showing 23 mid.
Well, it's probably moving right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's showing 21 for me now. Mortgage rate, yeah, Brandon, mortgage rates are going lower right now. We've seen that day after day after day. If we get weak data tomorrow, they could go even lower. So that's good for Rocket Mortgage.
Okay, let's see, going to try a couple of these.
Granted, we need a move on Rocket tomorrow. Not as big as today, but we need about a 2-3% move, maybe like 2% now on Rocket. And at the current price, depending where you get filled, if you get filled around 20 cents, that's 150% overnight. I
tried for 21 waiting there. And yes, someone asked in the chat, every single one of these is a bullish debit spread so far. Buy the lower call, sell the higher call, pay a price, look to sell it for more. We like debit spreads for that reason. It's easy to do the math. Buy it, you want to sell it for more than you paid for it.
Man, all right. Yeah, this is when we got on, it was at 17 cents when we got on here a couple minutes ago, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's up 7.4% today. Wow. I didn't look. It looks like SoFi. Yeah, SoFi's up 3.8% as well. I didn't actually check GDX today, by the way. I think the gold miners still have some room as well. I'm not going to do a one-day trade on GDX, but I think it's an interesting one. Okay, what else we got, Graham?
I like GEV. I love GEV.
Of course you love GEV.
Is this a surprise? It's setting up a gap fill today.
Someone post in the chat if you're shocked that Graham is giving us GEV here on Shotgun Thursday.
We did a wrap order on it this morning too, so we're doubling
up. All right, $5.99. Can we play the 600, or is that going to be crazy? Well, that can't be right. $1.10. If we can trade it for $1.10, I'm grabbing 100 of them.
I just tried out my end. It's not going to fill.
I tried at $1.30.
But how I would do it is I would just wrap it 597.50 and 602.50.
I'm not as rich as you, Graham. My little $2,000 account to be wrapping.
As rich as you.
To be trading these $5 spreads like I'm some kind of wealthy Wall Street veteran.
Well, if you want to have some more fun, you could go 600 and 602.5. You still only need a 0.3% move to make over 100%.
That's true. Yeah, let's do that.
And it's a huge stock. That's what we're talking about.
That's why I like these expensive stocks.
Yeah, it's a huge stock, so that's not a very big move.
I agree. I don't know how to edit trades in Tastyworks. You guys can tell I just funded this account a couple weeks ago and have no idea how to use it.
You could even have more fun and just say, I bet it'd be up 1% tomorrow and use 605 and get some real crazy returns. And it's up 3% today. I would not be shocked tomorrow if it's up another 2% tomorrow.
All right, we'll fall into Graham's trap. He told you he was going to be aggressive, and he's living up to it. All right.
Hey, let's do that. Let's bet on it moving 1% or more tomorrow.
Well, that's not even 1%. Oh, now it is because it just dropped down. Yeah, so that's exactly 1% right now. 602.50, 605.
Yep.
How did you get filled on it? It's showing 93, but that seems 93 actually seems a bit pricey to me. Let's see.
For a 1% move on GEV?
Well, yeah, that's true. 1%. Those expensive stocks can sometimes throw you off. I'll try at 90 and go from there. All right, what's Graham going to throw at us next?
Let me see.
MSTR.
I got filled at 90 on GEV. So GEV gains 1% or more tomorrow. That's 177% overnight.
What do you got next, Graham? Open? Maybe?
Open. No, what was my? Oh, I said we could do Apple for a safe play. It's really gained steam and it's showing a lot of stability right now, actually.
All right, I won't argue with
not
Apple.
Up huge today, but it's looking very stable.
I won't argue with Apple, but I don't think I'm going to trade Apple 1% out of the money either.
I don't think so either. I think Apple, you would maybe even go in the money, depending on what the price is.
John got GEV for 83 cents.
John is
what?
He crushed.
John, what a legend. This one you could do a little more expensive. It's what is that? 1% in the money, 0.7. It's you're only going to get 25% on Apple if you do it in the money, but I'm going to do it anyway. I like a little safer play here.
Yeah, I like a safe play on Apple.
25% if you do the 235, 237.50s there.
All right.
Let's see if I can get filled on those.
I've made a whole list for us now. Oh, nice.
All right. Oh, nice. Nice list. Look at you. What a guy. All right. Anything else? Any other high vol? Let me actually, I didn't look at what we've got at the top of my other watch list here. Let me take a quick second.
We also have some earnings today with AVGO, Lululemon, UiPath.
Let's get a little financial action here with JPM.
What'd you get in Apple for, or did it?
Did not fill for me. I have it at $2 right now. JPM's 303, so we can split that one at 302.50 and 305. Still need about a 0.3% move, but oh wow, that's showing a mid price of 360. Oh wait, why am I getting? There we go. That's more like it. $1.33 on JPM. All right. 302.50, 305s on JPM we've got there. So a little financial worked into. What about AbbVie? Does AbbVie have earnings, Graham? Do you know?
Let me look. No earnings.
Okay, because it's been grinding up a bit. Peak back above 210. A little healthcare action. We'll throw some healthcare in the bag today. By the way, for the 150 people who are here now who weren't here 20 minutes ago, and you're seeing us throw random darts at the board, this is not normal trading. I feel like I need to repeat that a couple of times. This is Shotgun Thursday. We're throwing some things at the board. One-day expirations, getting a spread of different sectors, different stocks, different strike prices, and seeing how we can blend out a series of trades with one-day expirations. The idea is to see, can we get actually a more favorable return doing this than if we just traded the SPY directly, which, by the way, I still do, and by the way, is net profitable. 210, 215, which is a perfect wrap on AbbVie, is still about $3. That's a little too rich for my blood. Paying $3. That needs to be 250 to be interesting because it's split right in the middle of those two strike prices there. Oh, Graham didn't post JPM for me.
Oh no, I did not.
I'll post it for you guys. Graham's done all the work so far. buy the 302.50 call. Sell the 305 call. And right now, I'm at 135, but I'm not filled. So I'll throw 140 as the price there. I'm hoping I can get filled a little better than that. Oh, perfect. 137. Okay, well, don't pay 140 for JPM because you don't need to. Graham, did you get filled on Rocket or is it still running away?
Let me check. I'm just updating our list. Someone's asking about Apple.
Well, I got filled at 26 on Rocket.
Here, I'll post our most updated list.
Yeah, I didn't get filled on
I
Apple.
posted it just a minute ago.
Okay.
But if you walked any of the bids up, then they need to be updated. But I have $2 on Apple.
I just moved up to 205 just if I get filled on that. Okay, GLD filled for 55.
Someone saying Apple's posted incorrectly. Is that incorrect? Buy 235, sell 237.50.
Buy 235, sell 237.50.
No, it's 602.
602 is GEV.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yep. Okay, you guys saw a better price than me on JPM. So Apple's still not filled here.
Apple's moving up.
Yeah, it's bouncing
Moving
right
up
now.
in the
Mid is up
world.
to 215. So do we want to take a more aggressive on Apple or do we want to skip it and maybe trade for a different, like a Microsoft instead of Apple?
Hey guys, I just posted the most recent list at 350. It looks like there may have been a typo earlier. So most recent list is here posted at 350 in the chat.
We could trade Apple for Google, which is just a monster of the ages. I can't believe, Graham, you said Google. You were all about Google beginning of July, and I doubted you. But what a monster it has been.
I know it was 170, or when I said everyone should buy it as much as it can, and I didn't listen to myself. But I did listen to myself when it was around 190, 200. So I guess I can't complain. It's at 232.
Unbelievable. I haven't traded out Google at all, and I'm kicking myself. If we don't get Apple, do you like Microsoft or Google as a replacement for Apple?
I like Google as a replacement.
All right, let me cancel Apple. Strike it from the record.
Microsoft looks really good too, just very stable.
Well, that's what I was thinking because we were looking for maybe a safer play. So I was thinking maybe I'd go Microsoft. It kind of built a base, is rounded out. Looks like one that could hold the fort down for us. But let's see if we can get a 232.50. That would be just barely outside the money on that top strike. Oh, and a really nice price at $1.62.
232.5.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That's $1.60 for one that's pennies away from being completely in the money. All right. So we have 6 trades on right now for our Shotgun Thursday. I've actually been filled on all 6. That's a miracle in and of itself. And we'll see.
What about NVIDIA, Nathan?
NVIDIA? I haven't actually looked at NVIDIA. Let's see. NVIDIA kind of similar to Microsoft, I guess. Kind of had that
bottoming, and they had really, really great earnings. And it is as a tease, it's at the top of my 2 Sigma watch list.
All right. Well, let's pay JD tribute and put a 2 Sigma stock on the list. I do like NVIDIA. I mean, again, we're talking about a one-day trade here, so obviously we're not going to read too much into what NVIDIA does tomorrow, but it's similar to Microsoft, like I was just saying, kind of build a base, looks pretty solid. And by the way, NVIDIA does this on a pretty routine basis where it does have great earnings, gets a shakeout for a little while, and then, those earnings pay forward over the coming months. So not to say NVIDIA is going to go up tomorrow, but in the coming weeks and months, I still like it quite a bit. Well, JD, how aggressive do you think we should be? Do you think we should play for a 1% move tomorrow or more of a safe move on NVIDIA?
I think everybody's instincts here, just reading the chats regarding the economic data that's coming out. It's bad news is good news, and the markets have been ripping on that. So, and NVIDIA has not been participating. So, do they deserve to participate? I think they do. So I would be aggressive here.
All right. So we got Graham 2.0 pushing us to be aggressive. So we are going to do 170, 172.50. Still, only a 1% move, but obviously you need 1% at the right time on the right day. That is looking at about $1.38. We post that one in there.
I got it.
Okay, thank you. And boom, we're in for $1.38. So that'd be what's that, like an 80% return if Nvidia does participate tomorrow with a 1%. Okay, so now the other thing we can do here, folks, is we can go set targets on these trades. The way that I did it last time is I set a 50% target on each trade. The way that Graham does it is he lets them expire and go for a full profit. So two different methodologies there. I like it where if we do get maybe a morning pop that then sells off and 4 or 5 of these stocks participate in that, you hit some targets and then the market sells off and you're not worried about where those expire. And when you have one day and you're trading really close to the expiration, you also have a fair amount of trades that could end up right around those strike prices or in between those strike prices. And so one easy way to avoid that is to put those targets on, because if you get a pop throughout the day, you hit the target, you're out of the trade. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go ahead and set my targets. Of course, I have to go look and see what I paid for each trade because I forget already what I paid for each trade. So luckily we have our notes here in the chat. But really simple. If you want to set a target on these, you just take what you paid. If you paid $1 debit, multiply it by 1.5, then you're going to have $1.50 target on that trade. You want to set them up as a GTC limit order. GTC limit order. Posting that in the chat. That lets the order sit there overnight and into the market tomorrow. So that, if you get a big move at 9:30, great, you hit your target. If you get a big move at 3:30, great, you hit your target. Doesn't matter where in the next 24 hours and 4 minutes that you were to get a move, you're in position to hit that target. So it's a good till canceled limit order there. And just whatever you paid, it's going to be based on that. So I'm not going to give you a target across the board. Just look at what you paid, and then you can use our calculator. That's where that comes in handy.
I'm going to interrupt you because we got 3 minutes left. Manny wants you to walk up the bids that you're willing to walk up. So
I filled on everything. I have nothing to walk up on my side.
Okay.
I'm filled across the board. Let me get here. See if this will let me in now. I guess
if I can chime in, Nathan, I think you're spot on with your targeting tomorrow. I think with the jobs report, you're going to get volatility in the morning. Hopefully, it's upside volatility. And then you'll hit your profits. You could see into the weekend, especially with Russia rattling the saber on Ukraine over the weekend. Not that you have to worry about that, but traders will position for that in the afternoon. So there's plenty of reasons to think you're going to get a spike in the morning, just exactly what you said.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the reasons I like those targets, especially, at the end of the week, you're not worried about what happens at the weekend. A lot of times big news breaking and that sort of thing. And guys, setting your targets really easy with the calculator, right? We built this for you for this exact reason. So, you go over here and you say, okay, GEV, what do I have? A 602.50 and a 605. Just literally type in the numbers. 602.50, that's the one I bought. 605, that's the one I sold. And then you go look at what you paid for that trade, which I don't even know what I paid for that trade. Let's see. What did I pay for that trade?
For which one?
I paid 90 cents for GEV. So then what was my entry price? It was 90 cents. And then I did 2 contracts. And so now if I want to put in 50, which is already one of our defaults, it's going to put out all the information right here. So right here on the calculator, if I want a 25% target, I set my limit at 113. If I want a 50% limit, I'll set my target at 135. Now, GEV is the one that I'm probably going to make an exception on because Graham convinced us to go super aggressive. So maybe on this one, I'll do 100% target. And then my custom target will be $1.80, not 50. So just let me type that in the chat because I kind of forgot about GEV already. 50% target on all trades except GEV with a 100% target. And that is for me, Nate. Graham, I think you're going to let them go, right? Oh, Graham dropped. Oh, I think Graham took a phone call.
He's on the phone.
All right. I think Graham is going to let his trades go and go for the full profits. I am using a target on each one.
He's calling his
G-
broker. He wants to know why he didn't get all the fills you got.
It might have been me missing me jumping them up, to be honest, because I
I'm
moved a
just
couple
kidding.
of them
I'm just
quickly there.
kidding.
No, but I mean, it might have been that might have been part of. Oh, was it not even a question in the chat? Is that what you're saying?
No. He is on the phone. I was joking about why.
Oh, I thought you said someone in the chat said that.
No.
Okay, so David just pulling me again, as per usual.
So sorry.
Okay. NVIDIA, I filled at 138. Google, I filled at 161. GLD, I filled at 55. RKT, I filled at 26. JPM, I filled at 137. GEV filled at 90 cents. IBIT filled at 50 cents. All right. Those are your fills, ladies and gentlemen. And next we have, actually, let me have Graham answer this question first, and then we'll have JD go through that hit list. Graham, are you going to let yours run tomorrow for full profits?
I actually, like you said, I normally would, but I actually agree with JD. And I actually, if you look at my Telegram earlier, guys, you know that I'm not buying this current rally in the markets. I think it's a fake out, personally. So I think it would be wise to potentially take profits in the morning.
All right. So Graham says fake out, take profits. JD says, maybe volatility, take profits. I don't know if JD is as strong as you are on pullback. I'm, as usual, saying melt up all-time highs within a matter of days. So different points of view. But next, we're going to move into something which I guess is kind of the opposite, the opposite of what we just spent a lot of time doing with darts at the board. Because JD, the whole idea here is the deviations, which show 98% of movement happening on the other side. So that's the framework that you're dealing with, is that the stocks that you want to trade are in that rare 2% of the time where they're trading under the expected value. And so even if they don't hit all-time highs, they're at least going to make some kind of move back to reasonable levels within appropriate pricing. And you've got 10 different stocks that fall into that zone, if that's correct.
I do, yes. It's all about reversion to the mean, the statistics. I don't want to freak anybody out. We're not going to give a math test here. But the magnetism of the mean is quite powerful. So if we can get a good entry at 2 sigma, which is 2 standard deviations below the mean, as you pointed out, that you are doing your buying when there's a 98% probability of the stock rebounding above that level.
Perfect. Well, let's give that watch list, and then right from the watch list, JD, if it's okay with you, we'll just play the presentation we played yesterday. So for the people who want to know more, they can get the whole treatment on exactly how this works, what your track record has been. Which, by the way, sneak peek, spoiler alert: the track record from JD doing this in real time over the last 18 months, no theoretical, I would have picked this stock, is phenomenal. And I don't say that lightly, guys, because Graham and I will say emphatically on these sessions, picking bottoms, picking stocks that are pulling back is not just an easy game. It looks easy in hindsight when you're looking at a chart. It is very, very difficult to do. But JD has a formula, and his track record of the last 18 months is phenomenal on picking those kind of stocks.
Right. And I love the math. I'm a big math guy, numbers guy. I love the mathematical approach to it all.
So, all right, cool. Well, JD, why don't you hit us with the watch list? Give the value up front here, and then if you guys want to stick around, we'll roll right into that 2 sigma presentation, which is really cool and gives all the math away.
Let me share my screen here, Nathan, and I want to pull up the dashboard that I use in identifying those entry points. So let's see if I can do this. There we go. And of course, I mentioned NVIDIA already, so that is stock number 1. And what's really cool about this dashboard that was built utilizing the 2 sigma strategy, you get these blue bars here, and those are not volume bars. Those are alerts that a stock is approaching 2 standard deviations below the mean, and that a green light go, which is when we like to open, not like to, but that's when we exactly open a trade in the stocks that we are following on the watch list. So All of these stocks that I'm mentioning today are merely on the watch list. I'm not ready to trade them right now, but so it's a little bit of a tease, Nathan, that you're oh so close. But if you stick around and watch the presentation, there's a good section on the mathematics that Graham was talking about, whereby you really do need to follow the mathematics, because if you get in early, you're cheating yourself of a probability of a successful trade. And so while it might be tempting to get into an NVIDIA here on these blue bars, I'm really just going to wait for my green light go, and that's served us very well. So NVIDIA is the first stock that I like. Let's see what's next. These are names a lot of you are going to be familiar with, and maybe if I just take a quick time out to give folks an idea of how do I come up with my watch list. Well, there are 40 or 50 some fundamental variables that I use to triangulate the stocks that I feel are about to be very attractive for institutional owners. Having that extra juice of institutional desire to own a stock is when we buy at the right price on the green light go. Again, that you're just putting chips into your pocket of probabilities that you're going to end up with a positive outcome. So all of these stocks that I'm mentioning today passed a very rigorous test. They're not just randomly selected. It's not just about being a Mag 7 stock, even though NVIDIA obviously is. I like NVIDIA because really we've got these three bars here. So the next stock to look at, Nathan, is Palantir. Now we don't have the blue bars here, but you can see the chart. What we are looking for, and this isn't about guessing the timing of a bottom. It is waiting for that mathematical calculation to tell us that its accumulation is about to begin. And again, you can learn more about what I'm talking about here if I'm not making much sense. I think the presentation does a really good job of outlining what I'm talking about here. So Palantir is a name I like on the watch list. Strategy, MSTR, is a stock that I can't wait to get into. Now, you can see on Strategy, we did get a green light go back on August 20th. Now, I will say that from time to time, I do utilize discretion when a stock on my watch list could hit the green diamond like Strategy did. I'm sorry, I am misspeaking here. We actually did enter a trade on Strategy on August 20th. So never mind. What I didn't do is wait for the red bar exit. You see this little pop here 2 days later. So, a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush, in my opinion. And when you have a 2-day gain like this, I would expect a trade to run anywhere from a week to 3 weeks. Just for an FYI, I'm not looking for, hey, a specific moment in time where I get a rebound. And so on Strategy, we did enter this trade, sent out the alert to members on the green light go, and then it popped. And you can see it has sold off since. So I'm glad I did that exit on discretion. But now I get to wait for another green light go to represent a moment in time where accumulation will begin on Strategy again. And we can just rinse, wash, and repeat this process. The next name is a small cap name I'm pretty sure none of you have ever heard of. It's called Innovative Solutions. It scored very, very highly on those fundamental factors that I like, things like expanding, rapidly growing earnings, rapidly growing revenues, margin expansion, rising analyst estimates, its ability to exceed analyst estimates, And you can see here in mid-August, on the 13th, the stock reported earnings on the 14th, and the market really misinterpreted the results. As is often the case in small caps, you don't have the typical media coverage on a name like this. And so if there is a headline that is, I don't want to say erroneous, but maybe misrepresenting exactly what's going on is a better way to put it, the algorithms that trade off of these headlines will absolutely slam a stock. And that's been going on now for the better part of 2 weeks. Still don't have the green diamond. I got to tell you, Nathan, this is one where I'm just tempted to get in because I love the fundamentals of the stock anyway, but I want to be diligent to the process. And so just patiently waiting for that green light go on innovative solutions. Groupon.
It's one of those ones, kind of like a couple of examples we talked about, that are stocks I've certainly never traded, that, you found a whole bunch of. If you guys stick around, JD, talked about NVIDIA and Palantir. We all know those. But then there's a whole list of them that never would have made any of my watch lists that I think are a lot of fun. And some of them are $10, $14 stocks. And obviously those have, the potential to make those 30%, 40% on the underlying stock moves a lot more effectively than a Palantir is at this point in its maturity.
Yeah, and I'm not much of a hype guy, Nathan, and I know in our business we tend to do it's all fair because it's fun to have just a fantastical result, and we've had those in spades, including on call options, positions that gain 2, 3, 400%. That last name that I gave you on ISSC, this is a name that once we get the green light go, it's a bunny stock, meaning it can really pop. And if we own the call options, which is if you become a member of Two Sigma, we offer the underlying equity position, but also a level 1 call option recommendation. It's no joke. This is obviously, you investing in options, entails risk, and the full disclaimers, don't risk more than what you can lose and all of that kind of stuff. But boy, when a name like this works, it really works in spades. Groupon was the next name that I mentioned. Again, this one blows me away because you see here, it did get a green diamond on August 4th. And after its earnings report, it popped. It popped so much that we got the red bar, literally within 3 days. Now, I did not trade this one. I wish I would have, but it wasn't even on my watch list. But what happened, a funny thing, is after this great earnings report and a really great market reaction to what was a phenomenal, beating on the top line, beating on the bottom line, estimates going up, so raising guidance. I don't know what more you can ask for, but the stock's just been selling off for almost a month. And I'm waiting for another green bar here because you can see here what happened with Groupon back on August 4th. Past performance and past events do not predict the future, but you really, I've been around enough, Nathan, to, just this process does tend to repeat itself. So I'm excited to get into Groupon. Next up is a payments company called Zezel. I'm guessing many of you all haven't heard of this company.
Definitely not on my watch list either there, JD.
Yeah, these are and I do my research on 6,000 publicly traded stocks to identify, the ones with the fundamentals that give me the greatest odds of success. So Zezel was a name that had, let's see if I can do this easy enough. You can go back in time and you can see, the bars are off the chart here. It just blasted higher during the summer months. And then after its earnings report here on August 7th, the stock sold off, even though the numbers were actually pretty good. We did get a green diamond on August 14th, and this one was a green diamond that I ignored again because I tend to perhaps take Graham's view that the market is due for a pullback and that we're overbought here. But I really try to stay agnostic to the macro with 2 Sigma, so I don't do that too often. But again, that waiting has served us well here, and I think we can get a better entry. I'm looking for, I don't mention this in the presentation, but I call these double diamonds, Nathan, where we get a diamond and then you get a diamond again shortly thereafter, and I think that's what's going to happen on Zezel. MP Materials. I don't know if you're familiar with this name, Nathan. It's a rare earths company that signed a contract with the Defense Department that had shares just going ballistic. But since peaking in early August, the stock has drifted a little bit lower here. And it's a great name in a great industry that I would like to be able to trade on a 2 Sigma basis. And again, just waiting for that green bar on MP. VRT, Vertiv Holdings, is a electronic production equipment company. We did get one blue bar here. The stock then bounced a little bit in the last couple days. But here too, if we get closer to 2 standard deviations below the mean, Vertiv is a name that I wouldn't hesitate to trade. Quantum computing stock, QUBT. One of the few trades that I made in August, it was a slow month for us as the market was kind of melting up, Nathan. Buying the dips, there were just, you need dips to be able to buy the dips, right?
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. But we did get into IONQ for a nice 1 or 2 day trade, again, following the green light go and the red bar exit. So that worked out really well. And I've got quantum computing up here, QUBT, as a name to watch if we get a green light go on this name. Hopefully we can have similar results like we did on IONQ. And then PS Power Solutions, PSIX, is the 10th and final. So thanks for sticking with me through this, folks. I hope you're getting a flavor for how I go about doing things. And like I said, if you stick around for the full presentation, you can learn a whole heck of a lot more. And really just, I would listen to that presentation. Even if you don't become a member, it's got great value to it. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like Graham said, the math in there and kind of the reason behind it. And you made a good point. The presentation, I think, is great. It gives you lots of examples of the kind of stocks JD finds, why he finds them, the math behind it. It doesn't even do the whole process justice because we just didn't have enough time to get into the pre-stock selection and all of that. But that's some of the stuff, if they follow you, they'll learn a lot more about, obviously, as they go. But again, JD, honestly, in full sincerity, hats off to you on the track record you've had over the last 18 months, because I am not someone who feels super confident grabbing those kind of pullback stocks, timing and directional plays, especially on lower price stocks that aren't full momentum, top of the line stocks. So I'm incredibly impressed by the performance you've had. And obviously, if you guys stick around, you'll get to see a whole bunch of the examples of what I'm talking about. And then that formula, that whole 2 Sigma idea is pretty fascinating. And JD does a good job of kind of explaining how that works in practice in the stock market.
Well, thank you for that, Nathan. You're gonna bring a tear.
And before we jump into that, is there an email address people can send questions to JD to reach you?
I would just tell them do the support at Prosperity Pub and just kind of attention JD, and the team will get them over. Okay. That's usually the best way.
All right, I'll type that in the chat for those that are listening.